and sometimes they will bring a guest. And so this guest is going to be Workforce Solutions. We have a couple people, one including a returning guest, Greg Harrington on KHEA, to be able to share all of the opportunities that you have to be able to get a job, get a different job, maybe pursue a different career. Greg, how you doing today?
I'm good, putting lots of people to work.
Yes, sir. Greg Harrington on KHEA. You've been on KHEA before. It's been a while, and I remember us talking about everything, including that Michigan flag in the background right there.
Always got to keep the beautiful thing in the background there, especially down here in SEC Big 12 territory.
Yes, sir. So have you been a pretty busy man, haven't you?
We have been. I will tell you, the taxpayers are certainly getting their money out of Workforce Solutions while the COVID-19 thing is going on. So we've got a little over 850,000 people that have hit the unemployment logs in the greater Houston area. And our job is to make sure every one of them gets back to work.
Yes, sir. So there are some people, receiving unemployment, and it may even be a little bit higher than what they were receiving while they were actually employed. What's going on with that? And is it interesting, conversation trying to get people to go back to work?
It can be. I will tell you, I look at it as a good thing because it means there's extra money in people's pockets to help keep the economy float, more money for people to spend to keep our businesses and our communities running while the pandemic is going on. But on the other side of the coin, it becomes a challenge for our employers that are still trying to do business when you've got people who were used to making, this amount of money, and they're making this amount of money on unemployment. And if they go back to work, they're going to go back to making this amount of money. But what we're really doing is using it as an opportunity to help people get ahead. So what we're doing is selling people, this is the perfect opportunity for you to move from being the lead to being a supervisor, to move from being a supervisor to being a manager. So we're trying to use some of the trainings that we've gotten that we offer people for free to get them upskilled so that now maybe you're a supervisor over at X company. Maybe we should be submitting you for a manager job over at Y company.
What kind of training do y'all offer?
So we offer all kinds of training, everything from basic skills. You need to know Word or Excel or PowerPoint to be able to get ahead in your job, all the way up through we will pay for you to go to a technical training school to get a 3-month certificate or an associate's degree, or we can send you to school for 4 years to be a software engineer, or we can send you to college for 8 years to be an occupational therapist. So it's really more about what you want to do and what occupations there are that we know are going to be in high demand. So that's really the only requirement for us to pay for training, is that we know we're going to pay for something that 5 years from now and 10 years from now, you're going to still be able to live in the Gulf Coast area and find a job.
All right. So we also have Marilyn here on the Zoom call with us. Marilyn, how are you doing today?
I'm great, guys. How are y'all? You'll hear me fine?
I hear you great. You sound good.
Good. Well, I'm here on behalf of Vocational Rehabilitation Services. And so we work in tandem with Workforce Solutions. So Greg is my counterpart. And what Vocational Rehabilitation Services does is we help people with a mental, physical, or visual disability go to work. And so we have a plethora of services that can help individuals who want to go back to work. We have specialty programs. I'm going to get into a lot of that in this next hour. But most importantly, we help Texans with disabilities go back to work.
Okay. And Greg, y'all work with, so many different employers and people that are in different programs. And so this is one program y'all work with. Is that right?
Absolutely. But even to a greater extent, they are co-located in our office.
Yes.
So the Texas City Workforce Solutions offices, they actually sit in our offices, and they are fanning out throughout the Houston area, so that very soon they'll be in all of our offices so that we can truly be that one-stop shop for everybody.
Okay. And
exactly.
You mentioned that it's spreading out throughout the Houston area. So, but it is currently in Texas City right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. They sit in the Texas City office with us.
Okay.
Drinking up all our coffee.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah. So right now, are the offices currently open? If you go into Workforce Solution, is there people there, or is it more like an online experience?
We're not open to the public, but we are working our normal shift. But you can contact us at 512-884-1248, and a live person will walk you through how to apply for services. So no, we're not seeing people one-on-one because we're mindful of COVID-19, but it has not stopped us serving those who want our services. So yes, they can contact us at 512-884-1248. Somebody will answer the phone, a live person, and they will be given information on how to apply for services. Great question. Thank you.
And Marilyn, who are the people that would call that number one more time? Like, it's a very specific audience, right?
Absolutely. So if you have a physical, mental, visual disability, and I'm talking about people with post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm talking about people who've been hurt on the job and they're trying to get back to work and they don't know how. I'm talking about people with a visual impairment. I'm talking about transition age youth. So if you're 14 to 22 years old and you have a mental, physical, or visual disability and you're interested in going to work, these are the people that I'm talking about. If you have a back injury, any disability that's going to cause a problem for you getting and or keeping or advancing in employment, you need to talk to us.
Do we know how many people in Galveston County potentially qualify for that assistance?
That's an excellent question, and I can't give you an exact figure on that, but I do know our population of people in Texas with disabilities is great. That's why VR services are so important, because we can step in and help that population of people go to work.
Okay. You know, whenever I first talked to Lauren, she was mentioning VR services, and the first thing that comes to mind, I was like, virtual reality. I was like, this is next level. I was like, this is awesome. Virtual reality. Like,
we got that too.
Let me learn about it. I was like,
vocational rehabilitation services.
Okay. Because I was like, if I can go to work and just like put on goggles and then I pretend like I'm working and I can get paid for that, like that sounds like it's a good idea.
It's not quite that virtual.
Okay. So that's a vocational
rehabilitation services. We call it Workforce VR services.
VR services. All right. Greg, what other kind of things do y'all offer that are kind of like this? I know y'all do so much, and we've talked about it, before. And I've been copied on some emails of a lot of the stuff that's going on. Y'all stay busy.
Indeed. And I will tell you, you actually touched on something when you said virtual services, because that is really something that we are becoming experts in. Like Marilyn said, our doors are not open, but every one of our people are working. They're working from home. They got their desk phones forwarded to their cell phones or their house phones, and we are answering the phones and putting people to work. So we've really become really good at that virtual service, to the point where anything you could do walking into our office, we can now do remotely. We've started to reach out to employers. Even if employers have candidates that they found on their own that they want to interview, they can call us and we'll set it up so that they can have their interview. They can sit at home or sit in their office, and we will send both the link to the employer and the candidate, and they can use our facilities to do a Microsoft Teams interview. So we are actually growing our real virtual services. In fact, I think this weekend we're having a virtual job fair for Galveston County for the Oceans of Opportunity. So you can go online and walk through the pavilion and stop into employers and look at their jobs and talk to them live. So yeah, we got the virtual, we got VR services, but we also got virtual reality services.
So the virtual job fair, where can you go to access that? Is that going to be on y'all's website? I think we just lost you. You got muted. I see Lauren, he's giving like the thumbs up over there.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. The virtual job fair.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely. If they go to WRKsolutions.com, so work solutions without the O, they will be able to see a list of all the virtual services that we offer, all the virtual hiring events we have coming up for the next 2 months. And believe me, you can get lost in them because most of our employers are joining in to start interviewing remotely and start hiring people remotely.
Do y'all do any courses or training for, a business like operating if they want to make that transition? I know you'll have a bunch of relationships with a bunch of different employers, but if they want to, hey, I need to still be able to work, and they hit you guys up, is that something y'all could help train them with?
Absolutely. So our employer services department has been hopping since this started, because obviously if you're on the bad side and you decided, hey, I've got to furlough my employees, I've got to let them go, we can't continue working, you can call Workforce Solutions and we will help get those people squared away with unemployment. We'll help get them into new jobs. So we'll take them directly from your place of business and try and get them something else, lessening the amount of time your employees are on unemployment. If you figure, hey, I've only got to run a part-time shift, I can't keep everybody working, we've got some job sharing programs where the state will actually help you match up people. So your employee may only get 20 hours from you, but they can get 20 hours from somebody else. So your employee stays working full time and they're still available for you when you have those 40 hours a week for them. And then if you're on the complete opposite side, which is we're full bore, we need more, we've got the ability to help train your managers, your supervisors, for how to best work with people remotely, for how to best work with people in these circumstances. So our employer services department has really exploded while this is going on, because the taxpayers pay us to be the professionals and to be the experts in how to keep people working.
Yeah, so that's how y'all are funded, right?
I can tag on to him. Let me tag on to that piece too, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are a person with a disability and you've lost your job because of COVID, you need to call us. If you're a person with a disability, you've lost your job because of COVID, we're the people you need to call.
And y'all will be able to get them taken care of.
We will be able to help them get reemployed. Yes, we absolutely can.
Yeah, and there's actually a comment on the Facebook stream on the KHEA Radio Facebook page that has a link to that. So if you're watching on Facebook, there's a phone number. If you're hearing our voice on a podcast or anything like that, we've also said that phone number before. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's unprecedented right now, and I feel like this is a great opportunity for people to get plugged back in. A lot of the times, I think people don't fully understand what Workforce Solutions is and what y'all do. Maybe they think that it's like an unemployment office. They think that it's for somebody else, but that's not for me. Greg, can you speak on that?
Yeah, I really can. So I think this pandemic has really helped to bear out who we are and how we can help. Because for a lot of people, they thought of us as just that, the unemployment office. Well, they've come to realize now that they're getting checks from the unemployment office, it's totally different from us, and that we are the people who put you to work. So it's really kind of helped to put us on the map as the purveyors of all of the labor market information and the people who can tell you where the jobs are and where the employees are if you're an employer, as well as to reach out to some employers with some cost-saving methods to even get them employees in COVID-19 times that they don't have to pay, because we understand the employers are having just as difficult a time as the people who work for them, and probably more so, because if those employers go under, those people got no place to go back to work at. So it's real important that we support the employers in this time and make sure that they've got a way to keep their doors open and remain profitable so that they can be viable when things get back to whatever our new norm is.
And then y'all are funded by taxpayers, so it's something that we're all paying into already, right?
I tell people all the time, if you're not using me, you're throwing money away because you're going to pay me whether you like it or not. So use our services. We've got an abundance of services that employers and candidates can benefit from, and you're really just throwing your money away if you're not using us. One of the real issues has always been that people tend to think of workforce solutions, as you said, for unemployment office. And if you're looking for a cashier job or a burger job, yeah. But on the other hand, I will tell you, I have an entire cache of all of those software engineers and aerospace engineers that can no longer go into work. So those guys are the people that we're reaching out to as well. So we're doing a lot to educate people who maybe never knew that workforce solutions was an option for them or that we could help them. They're now getting a chance to see what we really are, which is, quite frankly, we're the state's recruiting agency. So if you're used to dealing with recruiters, if you're used to dealing with staffing companies, that's exactly what we are, only we're never going to charge you.
So some people that may be confused and think y'all are the unemployment office, did they give y'all calls saying like, hey, where's my check? And was there some confusion?
There was a lot of that. So I will tell you, actually, within the first 2 weeks of the real shutdown happening in March, April, about 80% of the calls that came into Workforce Solutions was us having to say, no, sorry, we're not the unemployment office. Here's the number you can call. Here's the website you can go to. Here's some pointers. So we spent a lot of time and effort referring people where they should go. But again, I think the benefit to that was at the same time, we were able to slip in a little bit about what we do so they can come back to us once they got all of their unemployment stuff squared away.
Wow.
And Gordy, that happened on our side of the house as well, because people just called and said, hey, what's going on? And we're vocational rehabilitation services. That's not the hat we wear, but we do know how to direct people to different things. And Greg talked a little bit about services. So may I share some services?
Of course. Of course.
Right. So we can help people with counseling and guidance. We can help them with training. We can help them with assistive technology, medical services, hearing aids, transportation, prosthetics, sign language interpretation, braille services, orientation and mobility. We have a plethora of services that we can offer. And like Greg said, if you're not using our services, because you're taxpayers, you're leaving money on the table. You really are. A lot of people don't know that we exist anymore, because people used to know us as Texas Rehabilitation Commission, TRC. Everybody knew TRC. And then we had that long name, Department of Assistive and Rehabilitative Services, and people kind of knew who we are. And now we're under Workforce Solutions, housed together. We are having to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, to let people know we haven't gone anywhere. We're here. We're celebrating 100 years of VR services.
So you were mentioning some of the things that y'all can get people. Is that like, those are things, if it'll help them get a better job or get them back in the workforce, you'll supply that?
So we do what we call an independent plan for employment. So everybody's plan is individualized. It's catered to exactly what your needs are. Everybody won't need everything, but we have counselors who will walk you through your particular medical concerns, what the impediment is. That means, how does your disability interfere with you getting, keeping, or advancing in employment? So it's individualized. The counselor will walk you through the process and make sure that everything is tailored to your specific need.
Yes.
So let's say, for instance, you're someone who has cataracts and you've been working as a cashier and you've been doing great, but all of a sudden you really can't do your job because of the cataracts. Contact our agency. We can help with that. That's one of our medical services. And then send that person right on back to work, doing the job that they love. But we don't hesitate to call us, because if we're not the source you need, we know where to send you.
And y'all are working with and for the person, right? Because sometimes, like, I think of, like, and I don't want to say, but like the insurance company, if I was like an offender bender, let's say, and then they're looking at it and be like, well, that's not, they're trying to fight against you. And it's like, well, I'm paying you. Aren't you supposed to work for me? Aren't you working with me? Are you on my team or not? Right.
So that's a great comment, because Gordy, we work in tandem The person with a disability and the counselor work hand in hand. It is a joint effort. So I'm not dictating to you what you should do. You're not coming in with a plethora of things of I want, I want, I want. We sit down and talk about your individual situation and what your needs are going to be in terms of getting employed. And so, first you have to, they talk about, well, what's the eligibility criteria? First of all, it's not connected to your income. Okay. It's not connected to your income. So if you have a physical, mental, or visual disability resulting in a substantial barrier to getting employment, you require VR services to assist you in that area, and you can benefit from our services, we're the place you should be. Now, here's another caveat. If you have SSI or SSDI based on your disability, please call 512-884-1248. Hear me again. If you have SSI or SSDI based upon your disability, you need to call us. If you're interested in going to work, and I mean truly interested in going to work, call us.
What is SSI and what is SSDI? What does that stand for?
So Social Security benefits. Somebody who has a disability and cannot, at that point in time, it's so severe that they can't work, they can apply to what's called DDS, Disability Determination Services, which is in Austin. And they get a quote unquote, a disability check each month. And we all know we cannot live on the disability check. And so if you get to a place where, maybe I got on disability last year or 2 years ago, but my disability has kind of leveled itself out. And now I'm thinking, you know what, I may have the opportunity to be able to go back to work. We're the agency to call because we can help you get off that SSI, SSDI check and get you back into full-time or part-time employment, however you determine that. But they're kind of our cousin agency, so to speak. So DDS, Disability Determination Services, gives you that check every month. And we come in, Vocational Rehabilitation Services, and we say, let's help get you off that check and get you into employment.
Is that the goal?
And again, it's independent.
Is that one of the goals that you'll have? Like, hey, if you're on disability and you're able to go back to work safely and to get people off of that assistance, I'm going to ask you that question, then I want Greg to answer next if he's able to.
That's one of them. Absolutely right. We want to help people have a meaningful, gainful wage. And so we know that Social Security check can't pay everything. And so, yes, our agency and our vocational rehabilitation counselors is what we call them, are ready, willing, and able to help somebody who's on SSI or SSDI move into competitive, integrated employment. Absolutely.
Greg, what about you? Is that the goal to get people off of, there's 850,000 people in the Houston area on unemployment right now. That's a pretty big goal. Can we make it happen? I think we got you muted one more time. I see Lauren shooting the thumb, the fingers up.
Okay, I think we got it now. How about that? So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, oh yeah, we can do it. So I will tell you that is absolutely our goal. Is that every single person who is receiving an unemployment check right now either goes back to what they were doing before, or probably even better, gets to take another step forward in their career in the next job that they get. So she talked about the fact that they have people who have disability checks. Certainly within Workforce Solutions, if you receive SNAP or TANF, you come into the Workforce Solutions office. That is absolutely our goal with every one of them, is to ensure that we have built your income and we built your value as an employee to a point where you don't need that extra income. You don't need that support from the other taxpayers. And in fact, you're paying into the system because we've raised your salary. We've raised your standard of living enough to where you're in a position to give back. That's ultimately always our goal, is to help people find that next job and to get a better job.
Marilyn, can you tell us a little bit about your background? And I guess, how did you get into that VR department over there at Workforce Solutions?
How much time do we have?
we got a little bit of time. We got some time.
Actually, I'm 29 and a half years in vocational rehabilitation services. Does that tell you how much I feel about this program?
Yeah, that's a bit of time.
Yeah. And so actually, I started out at DDS, Disability Determination Services. I was one of those people that allowed people Social Security benefits. Okay. That's how I started. I did that the first 7 or so years. And then I became a vocational rehabilitation counselor, which are the people who work with you individually and help you walk through that process of getting back into work. I did that for several years in 3 different cities. I started out in Austin, Texas. I did in Dallas, Texas, and now I'm in great old Houston. Although I'm not a fan of all the Houston stuff that you got behind you, Greg.
We're not trying to go there, Scott.
And so what I did was I was a vocational rehabilitation counselor and I worked with individuals. And then I became a transition vocational rehabilitation counselor. So let me talk about that a little bit, if I may. Transition VR counselors work directly with high school students who have mental, physical, visual impairments. Love that position because those people go into the schools with TVRCs. We go into the schools and we work hand in hand with the school staff. And students who are 14 to 22 years of age with a mental, physical, or visual impairment that are interested in going to work, it's the transition from high school to the world of work. Okay, and then I went from that to being the transition specialist. So I work with all the counselors and TVRCs that went into the school. And then I became a trainer. Can't you tell? And here I am now. My job currently is I'm the community outreach and awareness specialist for Gulf Coast Region 5. And my job is to do exactly what I'm doing today now. I'm here to educate the public on vocational rehabilitation services so that they know that even though the name TRC is gone, even though the name DARS is gone, Workforce Solutions, Vocational Rehabilitation Services, alive and well, 100 years and counting. So I've had a wonderful run. I'm not ready to retire yet. That's how much I believe in vocational rehabilitation counseling. And let me add this a little bit too. I have people who I worked with 10, 12 years ago that will still periodically call me and say, Miss Gilbreth, thank you so much. Here's how I've advanced in my career. And some of them make much more than this state employee does.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you would go into the schools and you would talk to the kids, did they have any idea that programs like this existed? Or is that kind of their first time?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, Gardy. They had no idea. And sometimes even the staff didn't know. And one of the things about people in high school is sometimes they don't call their situation a disability, because we think there's something ugly about that word. And I used to tell students all the time, all of us have a disability. Every single one of us, because none of us are perfect. Everybody has something. The key is understanding what your disability is, how it impedes your ability to go to work, and addressing those issues. And if I may, let me talk about that real quick, because when you talk to students, they're like, well, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? We help students. We have what we call pre-employment transition services. Pre-employment transition services. So it's career exploration. What kind of job do you want to do? What kind of things are you interested in? How does that connect to employment? We do work-based learning. We do counseling on post-secondary opportunities. We talk about workplace readiness, self-advocacy. I love self-advocacy because, again, kids may not understand their disability. I've worked with a young student who was about 15 who was newly diagnosed with schizophrenia. Mom and dad didn't have schizophrenia, but the grandparents did. And so the family, as well as the student, was like, what is schizophrenia? How am I functioning? That's one of the things the counselor can do. Self-advocacy, helping you understand your disability and how to navigate through the employment world with that.
Wow. So we have text from the Tech City Lamar Chamber of Commerce. We have Lauren here as well, who's had an interesting morning. Lauren, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing good. Staying in my car because, as most people know, working from home, to find the peace and quiet for meetings is far and few between. So, between, people coming back from college and teenage boys still trying to get ready for school and transition in the summer, but it's all good. Everything's great. This morning has been wonderful.
That's awesome. That's good. Good news. Yesterday, I was talking to Dr. Chapa and my daughter came in and was like, I have to go to the restroom. And she's She's 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dr. Chapa, can you take this for a second? I don't want to have an accident, you know? So everything's great. Lauren, everything's awesome at the chamber, right?
Yeah, everything's great at the chamber. And just a side note, if you are looking for employment, you have already seen how passionate Greg and Marilyn are about what they do. So why wouldn't you want to have somebody like them advocating for your employment, for your advancement, you know, all of that kind of stuff. You know, when you go for any type of help, whether it's medical or counseling or even employment help, you want somebody who's just as passionate and just as dedicated as you are to bettering yourself. So, you know, when it comes to workforce solutions and what they do for you, I mean, the fact that they have made sure that every single one of their specialists and employees and everything are still 100% available just speaks volume. So it's a huge thing. And, you know, with Texas City and La Marque, there is a high rate of unemployment because of COVID. Yes. And we are getting to this point, we're getting past the second wave to where people are ready to go back to work. And there are issues, there are obstacles, and they may not know where to start, especially because, you know, I have heard from members that they do feel a little defeated or down because, you know, now it's going to be a huge competition to get back to work. Well, with Workforce Solutions and their VR services, I mean, they're the ones who take the reins for you. They're the ones who do all the searching, who do all the legwork, who do everything for you to make sure that you do find the right fit. Like they said, whether it's going back to their original employer, finding a new employer, and sometimes even being higher up the food chain when it comes to a better position. So stuff like that, I mean, it's just a huge resource that a lot of people don't look into, don't know about, or don't really understand. So that's why I was really glad that they were able to come on today, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, go ahead.
I said I know there's a lot of members of the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure some of those people had to either furlough those employees or kind of ask for resources. Is that something y'all were able to try and connect them with?
Well, so Texas City and La Marque, a lot of the businesses have been around for a while, and they are extremely familiar with Workforce Solutions. So thankfully, they've already built that partnership and relationship. But yes, of course, anytime we've gotten phone calls, we've always directed them to our employment services, those members who provide that, just because that's what helps our economy. That's what drives our economy. That's what keeps our cities living and breathing. So, you know, we are grateful for members like Workforce Solutions because they do help so much. And a lot of people, like I said, I mean, even growing up myself, I didn't know exactly what they did or all that they did because they do so many different things, like through partnerships with VR. So, I mean, it's been pretty great. And then we have members like Endeavors, who's a nonprofit that helps veterans obtain jobs. And they just moved down to Texas City. So this would be a great partnership like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that citizens and, of course, chamber members can benefit from partnerships with Workforce Solutions and other employment agencies like that. So, I mean, it's really awesome. It's super rewarding. And especially in a time like this, it is super important to know exactly what Workforce Solutions can do for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Lauren, you just brought something else to my attention, if I can share. Because of the area that Texas City is in, if somebody has a job-related injury that's keeping them from returning to work, they need to call VR services, because being injured on the job can create a lot of anxiety, both to the employee and the employer. And we can help them with those work-related injuries and help them get, that's medical services, because they're falling behind on their job skills or their careers or their finances. You know, they're worried about when they can go back to work. If you've been hurt on a job, that's a disability. Call VR services. And thank you for reminding me of that, Lauren.
No, I mean, that's the whole point of a Chamber of Commerce. We advocate for our members and our community. So, and, you know, a big part of that is making sure that the economy is thriving, and that means jobs. So it's great to have a partnership with Workforce Solutions, you know, with the Chamber of Commerce, because we're able to help people and we're able to refer people. And so it's been great. It's been fun. All of the meetings and emails that we've had, I've learned way more than I ever thought I could. And it's been eye-opening, and I've been able to help more people that way. So it's honestly been an honor, and it's been really cool to hear everything that they offer. And, you know, hopefully soon we'll be able to partner with them again and some other people to put on an employment webinar presentation type thing. So hopefully if you keep following us, both Workforce Solutions and Texas City Lamarque Chamber, you'll be hearing about that soon too.
Lauren, there's events that y'all would usually have whenever there wasn't, stay-at-home orders, and go out if you need to. Are y'all still able to have some events? And I think maybe even some announcements. I'm still waiting to see who the new chamber president is. What's going on with all of this information?
So we just sent out our press release for the new chamber president. So Paige Michelle will be the new chamber president January 1st, 2021.
I'm checking my email.
She is
okay.
she's incredible. So she has experience with the Washington County Chamber. She has experience with business. She has experience with digital marketing. She has been a part of the Gulf Coast Chamber executives for a while, for years and years and years, was even president of it at one time. So she, not only is she well-versed in the chamber world, she's well-versed in advocating for her cities and for her surroundings and the place that she lives. So she actually just moved down at the beginning of June. So she's officially a citizen of Texas City, Lamarque area. And she starts July 15th, hanging out, getting a feel for what the chamber is about, getting involved, and then she'll officially take over as president January 1st, 2021.
Have you met her? What can we expect?
She's super, super cool, super nice, extremely warm and welcoming, but also extremely smart. And it's great knowing that, we've had Jenny for so long, and Jenny's been so familiar and well-versed with the area, and she's been an amazing leader and especially mentor to me. And, we were all kind of nervous because Jenny's been a part of the chamber for so long, Lori, Leanne, and Jenny, between 28 and 30 years with the chamber. And we've never actually had to search for a president before, because before Jenny, it was Jimmy for so long. And we were extremely blessed and honored to actually have Paige Michelle apply for the job. So it ended up working out great. We're super excited. We're excited to see what 2021 holds for the chamber and the advancements and the new things that we're going to add, and it's going to be awesome. So we're super excited about that. It's going to be all over social media. Galveston News went ahead and did a press release. We emailed a press release. Everybody's super stoked about it. So that's exciting.
That's really cool.
So,
don't
worry. I'll bring her on KHEA soon.
I'm excited. That'll be, we'll have to do that as soon as possible. Maybe even next week if she's down.
We'll just go ahead and throw her right in.
Yeah, day one.
But no, not only that, so far our events are still on as far as dates and times and everything. We may be tweaking as things progress. Honestly, we're taking, just like any other business, we are taking things day by day, week by week. Things are constantly changing. We're making sure that whatever we do are up to safety and health standards, no matter what. Our biggest concern is everybody's health, everybody's safety. So we're still planning on having the events. If we have to change some things to drive through or just tweak some things just to make sure, everybody's okay, then we'll do that. But we'll just keep everybody updated as things go along and things progress, because of course, as everybody knows, things are changing literally every 3 days. So we're playing it by ear right now, honestly.
Yeah, I was talking to Greg a little bit before we started the stream, and we were just talking about people being forced to change and some people potentially being better for it, in the long run. Greg, is there anything else that you'd like to share? Remind people, Workforce Solutions, who's it for? And I think we got you muted one more time.
All right, let's try that again. All right, so guys, the best way I can explain it to people is in our name, Workforce Solutions. You don't have to know what your problem is. Honestly, you don't even have to know you got a problem. Come in and talk to us about what you're doing with your work, what you're doing with your company, where you want to go with your company, where you want to go with your career, and we will fill in all the missing pieces. Our job is to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So who are we for? We're for anybody who owns a company, manages a company, or is looking to work for a company that wants some help. We are the experts that you guys pay to provide you the advice. Come get some advice.
And right now there's a lot of people that can benefit. You had shared the statistic, 850,000 people in the Houston area are currently on unemployment, or they filed for unemployment? What is it?
Yeah, 850,000 people that have applied for and received unemployment in the Houston area. We know that originally they reset the work requirement. Now they've backed off that, but we know that sooner or later, as part of being on unemployment, you're going to be forced to come into Workforce Solutions and do some kind of work search, requirement. So my advice is, don't wait on the rush when all the other 850,000 people are calling us. Call us now. Let us get you squared away, and we can start to build a plan.
Marilyn, what about you? Is there anything else you would like to share? Remind people, who is the VR for?
Yes, I want to make sure people understand that vocational rehabilitation services is still here. Even amidst COVID, we're still working every day to help Texans who have a mental, physical, or visual disability can become employed if that's their choice. I want to take just a second to talk about a disability that we kind of maybe don't really acknowledge all the time. But if you know somebody that has a vision loss, somebody who's visually impaired or totally blind, please have them contact us. If they're interested in going to work, please have them contact, because vocational rehabilitation services can, if you're at risk of, you have diabetes, you have a member that has diabetes, you have glaucoma, have a family member with it, you're over 45 years of age, call us. Vocational Rehabilitation Service is alive and well. Remember, I told you, we're celebrating 100 years of vocational rehabilitation services, and I've been here almost a third of that time. So please call us. It's an individualized plan for employment. If you have a sincere interest in going to work, whether that's full-time or part-time, and you have a disability and you live in Texas, that's a caveat, okay? Please call us, because it is our job to help you establish some kind of plan to get you into competitive, integrated employment. Vocational rehabilitation services are your best friend. If it's not for you, it might be for a neighbor. It might be for a community friend. It might be for a church member. Let somebody know that vocational rehabilitation services are still here.
Awesome. Lauren,
Call us.
What is the number one more time? What's that phone number?
512-884-1248. 512-884-1248. Can you tell I love what I do?
I can tell. I can tell. I can tell. Lauren, is there anything else you would like to share? Remind people, how can they join the chamber? Who is the chamber for?
Okay, so the chamber is for anybody in business, whether it's a nonprofit or full-on business. The chamber ourselves, we're a 501c6, so it's for anybody that wants to, as far as business goes, wants to be connected with the community, needs some advocates for their business. What the chamber does is we advocate for our business members and our community. So anything that drives everything forward, economic development, advocacy, everything. We stand for everything that has to do with our community and the citizens and the businesses in it. We do have our Women in Business sponsored by MD Anderson next Thursday. You can register online at tclmchamber.com, or you can find us on Facebook and register through the event link. We also will be sharing this live, especially for all of our community members who may need some employment help. So don't worry, we'll be sharing it on Facebook, all that other good stuff. So if anybody happens to miss it, you can private message it to your friends and family. And we also, Texas City has been chosen by ABC 13 to be featured and spotlighted for all the great things that Texas City has to offer. So this entire week, at 3, 4, 5, and 6, you can tune in. You'll see Texas City spotlighted. You can also go to our chamber website, tclmchamber.com, and get to the video gallery, or follow us on Facebook and get to the video gallery also. It's been pretty awesome. We have everybody knows Texas City and Marque has some amazing things to offer. So in Texas City, they spotlight the dike. They spotlight a lot of small businesses, what the city does for everybody, the updated library and all that good stuff. So it was really fun to be a part of. It was really fun to see, one of the cities that we hold dear spotlighted, and, it'll be great. So anything else, y'all are more than welcome to get a hold of me if it has to do with chamber membership, or honestly, any questions that you may have about business or workforce solutions, whatever we've touched on today. So my email is Lauren, Lauren, at texascitychamber.com. And you can always give us a call, 409 oh my goodness, 409.
Marilyn's laughing at you because she's about to throw her number out there instead and be like, just call me.
That's what I'm saying in my head. You don't understand, Marilyn. You really brainwashed me with the 512 because I was about to say 512.
512-885. Hey, I'm gonna look this up. Real quick. So we're talking about the chamber's phone number, and I'm gonna give it to you right now. Hopefully,
it's 409-935-1408. Thank you. I kept in my head 512, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's not our phone number.
I'm calling right now to see if Leanne answers. Hang up. Yeah, you're right. That's the number.
Yeah. So yeah, email me, call me. You can also stop by. We are practicing safe standards, so just wear a mask whenever you enter our office. And we also have a huge thing of sanitizer that you can just kind of hurry up and sanitize before you come in. Yeah. So yeah, we're always there for you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or email me.
I usually reach out to Lauren when I just have life questions, and I'm like, is this a good decision? Should I do this? I don't know whether to eat this for breakfast. And she answers. She's awesome. So thank you, Lauren, for hanging out today. and Greg and Marilyn, I appreciate you guys and everything that y'all do in the community.
Thank you. And let me just take this quick opportunity to say thank you for having us on this platform. Lauren, Gordy, thank you. Greg, thank you. It's very hard sometimes for us to get out into this medium and let people know about vocational rehabilitation services. So I thank you guys for this platform. I'm more than happy to come back at any time. Let us know.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, she needs to come back. She has a great energy about her. I'm already ready to conquer the day today.
Lloyd, about to call
You're
that
ready
number.
To call 512.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Y'all be blessed. Have a good day.
Bye, you guys.